What's up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. So, we're back into the Death discography once again, and I've already reviewed Scream Bloody Gore, Leprosy, and Spiritual Healing. So this is the next album for the discography that I'm reviewing, entitled Human. Now, this is an album, to me, that is, particularly the basically first Death album to be adding a lot of more different elements in the album, and the music is just a bit different than the first three albums. Apologies from that crappy lag a moment ago. But anyways, back to the review. Scream Bloody Gore and, Leprosy and Spiritual Healing are just basically non-stop aggression, classic death metal albums. Human, this album basically tries out music that is going to be, a bit technical at a few places, and Chuck is always, an amazing songwriter to make music different in the death metal genre. So we all know that the guitar parts on the first three albums are just thrashy type of riffs and all sorts. But Chuck, for me, is modifying his creativity for a few parts. So this is an album that just basically started out the some kind of technical type of death metal, and this is an album which just came out in the early 90s, and in 1990 Spiritual Healing came out. So I really liked Death's albums in the 90s. I think they're just better than the first three, in my own opinion, because the music on the future albums are just more improved, and like I said, just complex, and just going through a different turn in the death metal genre. So yeah, I really enjoyed the album, and I'm just gonna say this: just like Spiritual Healing, this album is not one of my personal favourites. Although some people might say that this album is just probably one of their top favourites, and I have to say that this isn't one of my top favourites really, but it's just a really good album, and the reception on the album got some pretty cool favourable type of reviews from some of these different critics and other reviewers out there. So yeah, the production on the album, I think the production on here is just really sweet, smooth sounding, and it's just sounded crisp and just perfect, and it just sounds really perfectly, and I just liked the production on Spiritual Healing and Leprosy. Scream Bloody Gore's one was cool and it's great, but I think the production on these future albums are just more clearer sounding, and so yeah, and the mixing is just really great, just like the production in every way. It's just nothing bad at all. So Chuck's riffs on this album and some, guitar solos and some, harmonics are more advanced type, and his riffs on here are just basically like a bit of more of a bit of like a technical or a melodic type of feeling for these parts on the creativity on the guitar parts. So I just really liked a lot of different riffs from Chuck, and he's just always a great songwriter and singer, like I said in my first review in the Death discography. And his style and writing of his own creativity is just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and Chuck's vocals on here are just really great, clear sounding. From the production, like I said earlier, just sounded like a big, huge sized beast or something. So his vocals on here are just really fierce and just aggressive, and the drumming on here has kind of improved more than the first three, in my own opinion. Just to hear a lot of more of the cymbals involving, like the ride and the crash, and the mounting tones and force on the snare drum, and I just really like the sound on the drums on the album. Just sounded, really just perfect. And throughout Death's discography, and like I said in my past reviews on the discography, there's been a lot of different lineup changes involved throughout the career. So the lineup career has been different from spiritual healing, and it's been changed in Humans. So yeah, and there's just a lot of really cool, memorable parts and elements on the album, like some introductions, Suicide Machine and Secret Face, Lack of Comprehension, and all sorts. I really enjoyed Human, and definitely check it out. And if you consider this album to be one of your favourites, then that's alright for me. But like I said, it's not one of my personal favourites like Spiritual Healing, but it's still an awesome masterpiece. So yeah, that's basically all I've got to say about Death's fourth studio album, Human. And I'm going to be reviewing their next album in the discography, Individual Thought Patterns. So the album rating is an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you posted for different reviews really soon. So keep it metal.